Hello there, welcome to another Q&A. My name is Clement Young and I'm your host. Today I'm going to talk to you about ghosting. What is it? What's ghosting? Well, it's actually one of the most popular search terms over the last couple of years in the relationships scene, and for good reasons. Ghosting is so prevalent today, and it's actually causing a lot of damage. So what is it? Ghosting is when someone ends contact unexpectedly during the dating phase and becomes unreachable. So it's an abrupt, sudden loss of contact with the person you've been speaking to, you've been building a relationship with, you've been learning more about. It's an abrupt cut in that connection, and obviously ends up leaving people feeling confused and frustrated, and with a lack of closure or feedback as to what actually went wrong. Because as human beings, we need to understand how to improve and how to, have the best chances to have a connection and a relationship and a mate with someone. So this causes some real internal problems. I've been the victim of ghosting many times. I've even ghosted people as well. I believe maybe you have as well. It's very easy to do that. Let's talk about why it actually happens. So there are many reasons, and there's some legitimate ones too. I mean, maybe something actually really did happen to someone, and unfortunately, they weren't able to continue talking to you for health reasons or physical reasons or just personal reasons that got in the way of them even having those kinds of conversations with anyone. So it's not personal for sure when it comes to that. But other reasons are, I think the most popular one would be a lack of empathy and too much convenience. So breaking away from someone can never be an easy thing to do if you're going to have to explain your reasons why. So I'll give you an example. I grew up in the 80s. I was born in 1983, and we didn't have, social media and online dating sites and instant messaging apps. So what we had to do if we wanted to end a relationship or stop talking to someone is we would have to actually confront that person because it was very difficult not to. It was very difficult to kind of remove yourself from something like that because you knew where each other lived, you have constant contact with each other, your friends know each other. And so it was really difficult to move on without actually physically breaking up. And that was great because it gives the person who's breaking up the strength to actually say what they think and say what they mean. That's so powerful. And then it also gives the other person the closure and the feedback to know what went wrong and how to improve for the next time, right? And so absolutely 100% think that today, because of social media and online dating sites, we now are in a situation where that's no longer a necessity. We can actually just ignore whatever happened and pretend it never happened, and then just move on to the next person. And by the way, there are all of these constant options appearing on social and dating sites that it can be overwhelming. So let's say something doesn't go the way you wanted it to, or you're just not getting the vibes you wanted to from this person, or they didn't turn into that idea that they were promoting on their profile. They actually were a lot different than you thought they were going to be. You can trick yourself into thinking that it's okay to just walk away and cut conversation, literally in half. But it's not. I think we've become very complacent with our own personal growth. And this says more about the person who's ghosting than it does about the person being ghosted. So what do you do if you've gotten ghosted? How do you deal with that? Well, to carry on from my last point, don't make it personal. Don't think that you're insufficient or you're just not a good human being. You're not good enough, all right? You're not desirable enough. Don't make these ideas about what went wrong, because the chances that you're going to be incorrect are high. Instead, recognize that this is unfortunately the culture and the time that the human race is in, where rather than actually talk about what went wrong and why someone's moving on, the first call to action is to just walk away. Recognize that's the time that we're in. It's not personal, it's a thing about convenience, it's a thing about avoiding conflict, and it's a thing about a lack of empathy and too many options. It's just a really unfortunate circumstance for people who are actually trying to meet someone for real and have a proper connection, and not just messing around trying to get validation or attention from these platforms. So ghosting's always been around. It's always happened throughout history. It's just that now we have a name for it because it's happening so much, and it's so much easier to get away with it. Don't be that person. Don't walk away from someone and leave them hanging. If you can muster the courage and the time and the effort to just tell them, hey, look, I really like you, I think you're a great person, but it's not for me because X, Y, Z. Or, John, you said something that I really didn't like there. I don't think you should act that way. I think you need to reassess, how you treat other people. And because of that, I think this is over. Even those things, those are much better ways to deal with walking away than to just walk away without saying anything. So I hope that helps, and I'm looking forward to doing another Q&A. I'll see you in the next one.